not that I don't want you here. It's something about the way.
What's up, my loves? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maya. This is your very first time here. So y'all, today we are going to be doing an updated Q&A. We're going to beat the face. We're going to talk. We're going to chat. Today's video is made in partnership with Sephora at Kohl's. So thank you for them for sponsoring us today. I did get a whole bunch of stuff from Sephora at Kohl's, baby, and we about to beat our face with it. Some of these are favorites, but some of these I'm trying for the first time that I've been wanting to try, so I'm really excited. So y'all, we ain't about to waste no time. I'm about to go ahead and get started on my brows. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and this is in the shade dark brown. This is available at Sephora at Kohl's. And y'all know I love me a good brow pencil that's nice and skinny because it helps me to really like create brow strokes in my brows. Since baby, apparently we ain't barely got none. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna answer a couple influencer questions real quick while we do our brows. Also, I'm trying to do better about pulling my hair back while I'm doing my makeup, y'all. I'm so bad at that. I will leave my hair down the whole time. So I'm just gonna do a cute little claw clip real quick. So y'all, I got so many influencer type questions to the point where I'm gonna make either a video or go live with y'all and kind of focus on that topic. But I got a couple of them that I'm just gonna run through real quick. First question, how long did it take for me to get monetized on YouTube? It took me about a year and a half. And then that next year, y'all, I didn't make nothing. After I got monetized, it took me like 4 months to actually get a check, because they won't send you a check if you don't make at least $100. So once you hit that threshold, then you get your money. And I was posting at least 3 to 4 times a month, every month in that whole year. Do I have an assistant? No, I do not. That is something that I want to do. The next person that I add to my team will be an assistant because I'm getting to that point where I need it. I'm about to sculpt out my brows. I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. This is in the shade 5N. Next question is, what camera and editing software do I use? For vlogging, I use the Sony ZV-E10, and I do have a different lens. I'm gonna find that lens and I'm gonna put it up on the screen because right now I can't even think of what that is. But for sit down videos, like right now, I'm using my Canon EOS R. And I edit mostly everything on Final Cut Pro. I do use CapCut as well on my phone when I'm doing like TikToks and Reels and things like that. Ooh, this concealer is amazing. I love this concealer, y'all. It's been so long since I've had one of these. And while we at it, let's just go ahead and talk about Sephora at Kohl's, baby, because they hooked us up, okay? Like I said, thank you so much to Sephora at Kohl's for sponsoring today's video. And when I tell y'all we got a bag full of things, this is only one bag. We had 2. But if you were unaware, y'all, Sephora is now the exclusive beauty partner at Kohls.com. Okay, so y'all know how you drive past Kohl's and you see us like a little Sephora store like there? It's inside the store, like set up like the Sephora store and everything. And you can buy all of the products online as well. I love that you can still get like that Sephora shopping experience within the Kohl's store. So it's like a one-stop shop. So they got all your beauty products, skincare, fragrances, body care, all of that inside of Kohl's. Also, for those of us who are beauty insiders, Rogue here, all of your purchases in store and online at Sephora at Kohl's do go towards your beauty insiders rewards at Sephora. So I'll tell you one thing, Sephora is usually just at the mall. So I think it's super, beneficial to be able to hop by a Kohl's and go into Sephora. And every Sephora at Kohl's location has, your regular, like I said, Sephora experience. You have your beauty advisors there to help you find products or to like give you beauty consultations. But then also they have the testing stations that are usually at Sephora, all of that right down the street at Kohl's. So we're gonna be using all these products today. There's so many of them. I'm about to set my lids real quick with this powder, which is from One Size. This is the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder, and this is in the shade Dark Deep. And I'm just going over my lids so I can set my concealers so that we can go in with some eyeshadow, baby, because we're about to do a matte eye makeup look, because we also got this Master Matte eyeshadow palette, and this is from Makeup by Mario. So we're about to just go ahead and do the makeup, y'all. But like I said, every single thing that we're gonna be using during this Q&A is from Sephora at Kohl's. So you will find links to everything in the description box. As I do the makeup, I'll kind of let y'all know what I like about each product, and you'll see the application and we'll try it on and get cute and stuff like that. But like I said, everything is in the description box. Make sure you guys check out the products below and shop Sephora at Kohl's for your beauty needs. So let's hop into these eyes and continue these questions. I've been wanting to try Makeup by Mario products like really bad, and I have not done it. So I jumped at the opportunity to use these products from Sephora at Kohl's because, baby, a lot of these have not been used. I'm trying to get out my comfort zone. Y'all know when I got something, ooh. Y'all know when I got something that I just like, I just use it over and over and over and over again. So it's fun. It's okay. We're getting out the comfort zone today. Someone asked if I was not on YouTube, what would I be doing and what did I go to school to be? My bachelor's degree is in English. I was a substitute teacher after that because I could not find a job out of college. So I got into teaching and then I was working customer service, y'all. I literally could not get what I wanted. I couldn't get it. So I worked customer service warranty department at an HVAC company and I started doing YouTube on the side. But while I had that job, I did get my master's in advertising and marketing because I wanted to get into advertising. Like I wanted to be an advertising exec. And what made me want to do that is Vivica Fox and Tuka played her game. I was like, that just seems really cool. And I've always been very creative and I just felt like that was gonna be a great career for me. And I mean, it's really not too far off from what I do now, if we being honest. So what is the hardest part about vlogging? Deciding when and where you're gonna do it. Because you get so used to, you know, creating moments where you're getting content. Like when you're vlogging, your life is your content. So imagine going to dinner but then not taking your camera, you're gonna feel like, especially if that's how you make your money, you're gonna feel like you missed an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? For content when you could just be living your life. So I would say that's the hardest thing, is really balancing that so that you can have a work-life balance. Cause though, you know, technically you're still living, you know what I'm saying, it's life. When you are vlogging, you still are thinking about angles and, you know, execution and lighting while you have your camera. So essentially it is somewhat work. So just finding that work-life balance. Like for me, I try to allow myself to have moments where I don't have my camera and I enjoy it. Still get dressed, still do my thing, still, because that's who I am, but not feel like, it took me a while to feel like I wasn't missing out on content, you know? And y'all gotta excuse me. Y'all know we gonna do the very neutral eye look. This is one of my go-to eye looks. So yeah, but I love how buttery this palette is, y'all. It's super buttery and these colors just really blend. It's not too hard to blend them together and I love that. Okay, we got to get through these influencer questions before we're done with the eyes because that's where we're leaving it. Do people look at me weird when I have my camera out during solo dates? Yes. Or period, while I'm outside. They do, but I don't care because I know that there's so many people who are out of touch with what I'm doing and how I make money doing what I'm doing. And that's their problem, not mine. How do you not get overstimulated by the comments and quit? Now, this is a real question, okay? Because, baby, the comments get crazy. Even some of the questions that was asked of me for this Q&A, I'm like, y'all are bold. So you have your negative comments, but then you also could get overwhelmed and overstimulated by just having so many comments regardless of the nature of them. But for me, I balance myself. I don't check my comments every single day, but I do try to get to as many as I can. Sometimes it's the best thing for your mental health, especially when it comes to people like bashing you and saying things about you. You have to learn how to filter those things out or even get to the point where you don't see it. That's where my assistant will be coming in. But as an influencer, it's super important to create community and comments, and responding to those comments is part of that, a big part of that. So you gotta do it. But for me, I create schedules for myself of when I check my comments, when I don't, when I respond, when I don't, topical stuff, what I'm responding to, what I'm not responding to. So I just go about it like that. So I want this to be like that sharp eye. So I'm gonna go in with my Flawless Fusion on the edges, and I'm gonna use my brush to kind of sculpt that out real quick. What are other sources of income that I plan on exploring besides, you know, being a blogger, being an influencer? Y'all, I have a lot of stuff that I want to do, and I have a lot up my sleeve currently. I'm not gonna answer this specifically because some things are in the works and I'm just like not sharing it right now. I got some stuff working and we just gonna leave it there. But yeah, this is not my end game. I do not want to be vlogging forever. I really want to leverage my influence to do other things, to provide other things for you guys along the lines of what I'm all about. And y'all know I'm really big about being able to tell my story, so that also I have something in the works for that as well. What helps you regain motivation when you're not feeling confident in your work? I feel not confident in my work often, y'all. Like super often. I should have waited to sculpt. It's okay, it's fine. I'm kind of creating a wing with this black, which is going on so easy. But yeah, what helps me regain motivation is y'all thinking about my why. What's the reason why I'm doing this in the first place? And how is it benefiting myself, my daughter, and those who watch me? I sometimes have to remember and convince myself that I have a very loyal following and girls that love me and who are inspired regardless of if I feel like I'm providing that for you guys. And usually when I have moments of like being upset about negative comments or being, you know, affected and not feeling motivated, every time, God will have me run into somebody like outside that will just tell me like their story or how I've affected them in their life and, you know, all of that every time. And I feel like it's always a reminder to keep going, and that keeps me going. If I don't actually run into one of y'all, it's God reminding me, sis, you got this and you're here for a reason. Your story matters. And while you're growing and trying to get more inspired and do better with your content, keep doing what you're doing. Don't just quit because you're feeling down. So that's what I do. Okay, baby, that black, baby. That black, the lift, baby, it's giving. Y'all, when Sephora started selling Lily lashes and even did a collab with them, I was like, I'm with it. We're gonna be using the Lily Lashes by Sephora collection. And this is the style Powell Street. It's considered to be more of a natural lash. So, child, I can't talk while I'm putting on my lashes. So let's just pop them on, child, and keep talking. All right, the eyes are done, baby. It's not too much, you know, it still gives a natural vibe, but it's also not like out there. It's like right in the middle. That's perfect. For foundation, you guys, we are going to be using the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop. I wanted to get, I'm sad. I wanted to get the blurring because I have not tried out the stick, the Ease Drop stick, but we went ahead with the liquid. So this is the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint, and I'm in the shade 21. I used to think, y'all, that I was shade number, I think, what, 19? But yeah. All right, y'all, let's get into some more personal questions. Do you think you would have found this new friend group while you were still married? And why did you wait so long to link up with other influencers after I moved to Atlanta? If you're unaware, I moved to Atlanta last June, and I have literally not done much of anything besides be married and be home and domesticated since I've been here. Since I am now divorced, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it's really not my doing. The opportunities to meet new girls and to go to events and all of these things presented itself this past summer. It just happened. I have been talking to y'all forever about wanting to meet girls and get out and to network. That was one of the goals that I had moving down here. But y'all, it just wasn't happening. I wasn't getting invited to any events. And I was making sure I was tagging Atlanta so people knew I was here. I tried to connect with certain influencers and it just didn't go through. Like, I don't know. I felt like it was just maybe not supposed to be in that season, but now is the season for it. So it's just naturally happening. So obviously, I would say I could have met the friends that I'm making now while I was married, but obviously I don't think that God wanted it to be that way. So I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it there. Someone asked, do you consider yourself an extrovert, introvert, or ambivert? Honestly, I'm gonna say I consider myself to be, I'm gonna say a little bit of both. So I'm gonna say I'm ambivert. I'm an introvert because I love being at home. That is my preference, child. If the girls can come to me or I'll come to you at the crib, like I don't mind being at the crib. And you know, I like people and stuff, but sometimes I get kind of shy and nervous around people, and I'm a little, sometimes I second guess myself. I'm working on that. I would most definitely say that I consider myself to be a little bit of both, because once I am out, I feel like I'm lively, I'm a little funny. I think I'm funny. And I feel like I'm a little bit outgoing, but sometimes it takes me a second to like I'm horrible at networking. Like if I'm in a room full of people and I'm supposed to be networking, that's kind of weird for me. It's just very, very, very weird for me. So I use the Laura Mercier concealer, but I'm about to go into this Stay Vulnerable Melting Blush from Rare Beauty. This is in the shade Nearly Mauve. Y'all, I have been seeing so many girls do like the blush concealer right here. I want to try. I want to see. Not concealer, but they would like put it there like to make it look like you blending it. Child, I'm probably doing this the wrong way because I feel like they use the liquid ones, but I feel like this could also work. So I just want to see what's going to happen. I can always cover it up with concealer and just leave it as a blush. So I'm just going to put that there. I love this mauve-y color too. This is so pretty and feminine and soft. Let's see if I get the effect I want. Okay, I'm not completely sure if I did it right. But we are gonna reinforce that blush here in a moment. What advice would you give to your younger self? I would tell younger Maya to spend more time with yourself, figuring out who you are, what you really want out of life without the influence of what other people want for you or what other people think is okay. Spend time figuring that out for yourself when it comes to how you feel about your body, how you feel about your personality, what kind of men you want in your life. Figure that out for yourself. Spend time getting to know people and trying different things so that you don't allow other people to dictate what you should and should not have and what you do and do not deserve. And start practicing speaking up for yourself, because my next question was, what do I think is my toxic trait? And I'm gonna say toxic for me personally. It's toxic towards Maya. And this is one thing I'm working on in therapy, is figuring out why is it that I have an issue speaking up for myself. I don't know where it came from or you know, what was the origin. Oh, this is so pretty. I love this color. Y'all, and then this, it's called Melting Blush. I really believe it does melt into the skin, because you can just kind of see how it just kind of, oh, I love it. I also like to bring blush a little bit on my nose too, just to even it out. But yeah, ooh, a little flush of color, baby. But yeah, I'm working out in therapy why sometimes it's hard for me to speak up for myself when I have opinions that matter, that affect me. Sometimes I'm afraid to shake the table, and I'm working that out so that I can change that about myself. Because that's another question that I got, was what was one of the biggest lessons you learned in the last year and a half, or within your marriage? And that was one of them. That was a big one for me. I'm gonna put a little bit more concealer on, baby. We're gonna let it sit so we can get a little brighter up in here. I love that this Flawless Fusion concealer is very skin-like. I love that we're doing like a very skin-like look, you know? It's just giving skin and what's the word I'm trying to, like a glow from within, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all, I'm trying to figure out how in the world that happened and why I'm like that. Because in the past year, one of the biggest takeaways for me personally is why I'm, you know, taking some time to heal and figure myself out, because I do have an issue with speaking up. When something's bothering me, when something is not the way it should be, in my personal opinion. And though I know I should, it's like hard for me to do. And I know that's kind of rooted probably in some childhood trauma, probably in some things I've gone through, which I can't even pinpoint. Like, we're gonna have to do some deep digging to figure out what in the world. But I would say that's my toxic trait. And it's toxic for myself. It's toxic to me. Not necessarily for anybody else, because it kind of benefits other people because they are more likely to get what they want if I'm not speaking up or shaking the table. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely a toxic personal trait that I am working on for Maya. Y'all know things that be wrong with us, child. Our toxic traits be rooted in trauma and things we've gone through. Before I go to the next question, my mom told me the other day, and I was like, that really clicks. Y'all know my mom's a therapist, but she was like, a lot of people get locked into ways or normalized dysfunction, things they saw growing up, because your brain is still developing as a child while you're intaking that information. So you subconsciously start doing things that might even be against your opinions when you're an adult, because your brain literally was formed around these notions that were not okay. So you literally have to deprogram yourself. And going on that journey is hard, because it's like, you look at yourself like, girl, what in the world were you doing? But when you look at it that way, it's like, you're right. I really normalized some crazy stuff, and let's get this out of my system. What are some of your favorite activities to do when you are by yourself? You guys know I love to go and stuff my face when I'm by myself, of course. I love to do that, but recently, y'all, I've been journaling a whole lot more. If you watched my last 2 vlogs ago, you know, I just got a journal specifically for my therapy journey, but also to just journal every single night, or sometimes I take it with me to dinner or to lunch or whatever. And that's been a really helpful thing that I have been doing lately, kind of as a self-care, self-love type of activity when I'm by myself. I've also been trying to do better about reading. I buy a lot of self-help books or like memoirs and things like that, and then I don't end up reading them because I'm so busy. So I've been making it a thing for me to get into my books and read my books instead of sitting on TikTok while I'm at dinner or while I'm spending alone time. Sometimes it's hard to balance all these things, y'all, because like I'm rewatching Scandal right now. I want to be reading. I want to be journaling. I also am a social media person, so I gotta be on TikTok and Instagram to see what's going on. And that's when I have alone time, because I also need to be working out, baby. It's stressful. It get real stressful, okay? But we still try to make it work. I just need a little bit more of this blush before we set this with powder, y'all. I just feel like we just need a little bit more. There's a lot of self-love and self-care type of questions, but I think I'm gonna turn that into its own separate video, y'all, because some good questions, and I feel like that could be a full content piece. So we're gonna do that. So we've got an influencer video or live, and then self-care, self-love, starting that journey and kind of getting into the deep stuff of that. So, but I'll answer just one of these questions. Someone asked me, what was my epiphany moment to get where I am right now in my self-love journey? And I'm gonna be honest, y'all, this time last year, I was not where I am self-love now wise, because I was allowing some things to transpire in my life that did not serve me personally. Some had to do with, you know, me not speaking up for myself and all of that I just went over. But once I realized that I had a habit of putting others' needs before my own, like deep down inside, like I was externally like trying to make that not happen, but really looking deep into myself and realizing that I will allow someone else to be comfortable and excited and have their stuff together at the expense of my own like well-being. That is when it was like, ding dong, no. If I had to say I have any type of epiphany moment, baby, that was it. And since I've had that within the past year, a lot has changed for me. The skin is skinning, and this is looking really great. I'm super excited. Before we keep going though, I am gonna add a little concealer here. Just a smidge, baby. Just to add some dimension. Someone asked, do I have any clothes set aside that do not fit my aesthetic? Yes, y'all. Old stuff that I used to wear that I no longer wear anymore. Like usually I'll pack it up and I'll give it to the Goodwill. Cause there's a lot of stuff I've been taking out of my wardrobe that doesn't match my aesthetic and who I am becoming. And I take that really seriously. One issue that I feel like I've been struggling with is, y'all know I like to look classy and put together, especially now in my single season, which we're gonna get to that in a second. But y'all know I got it bad, baby. I don't like wearing bras. I don't, and I'm a D cup, but I just feel like sometimes, depending on the top, they can really sit. But I do feel like sometimes to the world that comes across as being not classy. So I'm working on that. But besides that, y'all, I feel like I've gotten my aesthetic and my wardrobe to the point where I really love it. And so when something does not match that, I do set it aside and I'll take it to the Goodwill. And someone asked, do I plan on making any more upgrades to the house? I absolutely do. I've kind of been in this transition in this season right now, so I haven't had a chance to do it, but I think the end of this week, I'm gonna be starting another video just with some upgrades I'm making, especially in this new season. Some things in this house gotta go, some of the design elements, just because to me they represent where I just came from versus where I am now. So there's a lot of things I want to do with the house, paint wise, renovation wise. I want to change out my banister. I still got some light fixtures I want to change out. My entire loft area I want to change because it's just not giving what it needs to give. So we got some stuff coming for y'all. Also want to do a gallery wall downstairs in my living room. So I definitely have some things in the works for the house. I've just had to take it one thing at a time, baby. There's so much change going on right now in my life. It is not even funny, which is a great segue into our next set of questions. But first, we are going into the One Size Ultimate Setting Powder. And like I said earlier in the video, this is in Dark Deep. I usually will use the darker shade all around my face, and then I mix. Sometimes I'll do a yellow powder, y'all, but I've been loving to mix like a darker deep shade with the translucent, and it just creates this very creamy type of color. Like, that's what I use to set. So I'm gonna mix this with the translucent shade and then set the lighter areas. All right, y'all, let's get into a few personal questions. Because I did tell you guys recently that I do plan on doing another video a little bit more focused on, you know, my divorce that I just went through and things like that. Like, I just need a little bit more time before I get into all of that. But I do have a few questions that I chose that we're going to kind of go over a little bit. And this is just the darker powder, y'all. And I'll just use it and press it into the face. So many people ask me just how I am. Thank you guys for asking me that, for sure. And y'all, I am doing good. I am doing okay. Someone asked me, how is my heart and how am I mentally? My heart is healing. That's where my heart is. My heart is healing, mostly from my own, what I've done to my own heart. Not completely what someone else has done to it. My heart is healing, but she's good. Mentally, I'm good. I'm in therapy. I am taking care of myself. I'm being intentional about taking days off. Overall, we are doing really, really, really well. With that, I had someone ask, just, you know, kind of point out, like, I know the emotions can be all over the place, which they are. I ain't even gonna lie to you, baby. My overall, and I have to say, because I know everyone doesn't necessarily know everything. So if you're new here or if you don't know, I met somebody last March. We got engaged by May. We were married by December, and we just got divorced in October. So that is the season. And in the midst of that, I moved to Atlanta and, you know, kind of have been in the house and not really, you know, outside or doing what I said I was going to do when I got down here. And then now the season is just busting open and changing. So yeah, just a little backstory in case you are confused. Some of y'all be like, Maya, how in the world are you so okay after going through a divorce and everything you just went through? Or how are you coping with all of this change? And another question somebody asked me, who wanted the divorce? I did. I filed for divorce. It was essentially, it was a mutual decision, but it was me. That's all I'm gonna say. So to that point, I'm okay. And I'm not devastated. I've had a lot of you guys be like, Maya, how are you not devastated? I would be devastated. And what y'all gotta realize is that you can't completely understand somebody's emotions without knowing all the details. So, period. Regardless of if you feel like a situation looks like another one, you're not ever gonna really understand that person's emotion, how they deal with it, if you don't know all of the details of what happened. So I'm okay because it was not a situation that served me or my life or my future. And I made the best decision for myself. And there's a level of freedom and peace that comes with that. That's why Maya's okay. It also was something that was being processed before the split happened. So I kind of started the healing process a long time ago. So Let's say that. I am about to sculpt us out, y'all, and I am going to be using the Bronze and Sculpt Trio from One Size, and this is the Deep Trio. I'm gonna try this middle shade and see if this works for me. Yeah, I think that works just fine. So I would also say that I've been coping, like I said, by just being very intentional about my time, and also just making sure that I'm taking the time to feel all the feels. My overall feeling right now is happiness and peace for the decision that I've made for my life. However, I feel like my mom told me, she was like, you're kind of going through like the stages of grief. I was like, you know what? You're right. While I'll like on my vlogs let y'all know, okay, y'all, yesterday wasn't a good day for me and I didn't vlog. I was feeling the feels, but now we're good. Like, though, that's me just letting y'all know, like, I have my days where just certain aspects of the situation is bothering me. And I have certain emotions towards that. And I've been allowing myself days to feel instead of making myself work. Y'all, I love this. I love this. I've never tried this, y'all. I've never even tried One Size. This and the powder are the first products I've ever used from One Size that are available at Sephora and Kohl's. But I love how this kind of blends into my skin. This might be my new favorite bronzer because this is really, really nice. And this is the perfect shade too. This middle shade from my complexion. If you're a shade twin of mine, get this, baby. But yeah, y'all, I take my days. I take my days off. I take my days where I let myself feel it and don't try to overwhelm myself with work or doing other things so that I don't feel the emotions. I was just talking to my baby girl about this yesterday, that it's really important to allow yourself to feel how you're feeling and not to compress it, because what happens is you compress it and then you have something that triggers you and now you're an emotional wreck and literally can't get up. And so I was explaining that to her from experience and told her, allow yourself to feel stuff. You know, don't just hold things in or try not to think about it because it makes you upset or makes you angry. So that's something I'm working on, and that's something that I'm trying to help my baby to work on as well. Someone asked, what all of the changes in the seasons of my life right now, do I think I'll stay in Atlanta, and do I wish I would not have moved from St. Louis? I think I am definitely staying in Atlanta. Because number one, since I've been here, I have not been able to experience or do the things that I told myself that I was gonna do. I kind of jumped right into getting married when I got here, and I really moved here so that Amira could have her, you know, be with her other side of her family, her father, her sister, and her, you know, stepmother and brothers and sisters and stuff like that. And then also for my career, because I feel like this is a better place to be as a YouTuber, as an influencer than St. Louis, Missouri. Love St. Louis, love my family, but it's just not where I personally need to be. But since I got here, y'all, I have been wrapped up in the relationship I found and getting married and doing all of those things. So I have not even given myself a chance to see what Atlanta has to offer for me, to do what I came down here to do as an influencer, networking wise, better opportunities, events. It's just now happening for me. Coincidentally, which ain't a coincidence, as that season ended, this one opened. I don't think any of that is by mistake at all. I think it's all orchestrated. I know right now, y'all, what I went through was necessary for me. Sometimes God be like, look, you gotta learn the hard way. And it probably is wrapped up in that whole not speaking up for myself thing. Sometimes I'll tend to, like I said, allow other people's priorities to be the priority. Not just that, but other things. I believe I needed to go through what I went through in order to change as a woman. Sometimes we do gotta learn the hard way. I'm one of them people that had to learn the hard way. So to keep the skin-like look, y'all, I'm going back over my blush with some more, because I feel like it really just makes it illuminate. So I don't know if I'm gonna go in with a highlighter. We gonna see. All right, so someone asked, how am I adjusting to being single? And how do I fight the urge of being alone again? So if you watch me, you know that I've always, you know, I value marriage and wanted that extremely bad for my reasons that I feel are extremely valid. However, being back single, adjusting so far has been fine because I'm not another question somebody asked me was, am I gonna be dating now or am I waiting? And right now, no. Right now, no, we're not dating. Only because I had some very bad things in me and bad habits and reasons I've done things and trying to understand that need to be worked on and healed prior to me getting with anybody else's son. Because right now I'm processing how I allow certain things to transpire in my life despite disagreeing with them. Like, that's my personal journey right now. So no. However, there are certain things that you can only practice or get better at when you're with someone or when you're dating. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want to stand harder on my boundaries and my standards that I put in place for myself, I can't practice putting those in place without having someone to put them in place with. Does that make sense? So, though I will not be dating until I feel like God is telling me I'm ready to get back into that. Right now, I am working on myself in therapy and trying to find some answers about Maya so that I understand myself better, so that I personally don't make the same mistakes. I say that to say I've been adjusting just fine, because I realized when I want something so bad, or I rush into something just so I can get the outcome that I want, that's a way worse situation than being by myself. That's another lesson that I have learned. I have no problem being alone right now because it's necessary for me. So for lips, y'all, we are going into the Power Bullet by Huda Beauty. This is their cream lipstick, and it is in the shade Empress, and it is an absolutely beautiful nude shade. Someone asked, what do you look forward to the most in your new season of singleness? Ooh. I love this. I look forward to getting to know Maya better. Why I do what I do, how I make the mistakes that I've made in the past, how to navigate through certain situations and be intentional about them and try to heal from the trauma that I've gone through. I look forward to that because I already know that I'm a different woman than I was a year and a half ago when I moved to Atlanta. Completely different. I've learned some hard lessons and it's changed me for the better. So I look forward to diving deeper into who Maya is and this better version of me. And then after that, I do look forward to dating again because it's gonna be a completely different experience. Different than I've ever experienced before in my life. It's gonna be different, y'all. I cannot stop putting this on. This is so creamy and so beautiful. Let's zoom in. One thing, y'all, I forgot to do, we gotta add a finishing touch real quick. I told y'all a couple videos ago that I love to put like a matte shade here in the corner because it just, I feel like opens up the eyes. Someone else asked, would I get married again? And do I want any more children? I would absolutely get married again. I believe in marriage and I ain't gonna let one situation with one person who was just not the right person for me. I'm not gonna let that one situation dictate what I believe about marriage and wanting to create that for myself, because that is something that I value in my life. It's having a partner to go through life with. God literally created us in twos. People forget that when you want to put all the pressure on a woman and say, oh, you desperate, oh, why you want a man so bad? Like, for me, it's not about that. I want to have a marriage that honors God. I do not believe the one I was just in did. And I want to do it the right way. And I want to have a partner. That's what I want. So I pray that one day the doors are open for me to get married again. And we shall see. Kids-wise, I don't know. If I meet the right man, I think I will be open to having more kids. I really do. I really do think I would be open. Do y'all see what that did in the middle of the eye? Instead of adding like a shimmer or like a highlighter, you know? I love it. Okay, the makeup is done. I just showed you guys a close-up, but make sure that you guys do check out these products at Sephora, at Kohl's. Like I said, all the links will be in the description box for you guys to check them out, y'all. I feel so cute, so freaking cute. I got a therapy session after this though, so we finna take all this makeup off because y'all know I'm finna be crying. Which is good. It's good to get it out. All right, y'all, the makeup is done. I'm gonna leave it there. It's looking good. I love it. And let's go ahead and finish these questions. So someone asked, what qualities do I want in a husband? We're not gonna get into that right now. We're gonna have plenty of time to talk about that later, because please believe my list of what I need and what I'm asking God for is completely different. Some of the same things, of course, foundational things, but some of my must-haves have changed. So we'll get into that once we are getting into that. we not thinking about nobody's son right now. This is not the time, and we'll see. It might be sooner than you think. I don't know. We'll see. Was it hard to make the decision to call it quits? How did you find the strength to move on? It was hard to make that decision, especially because there was a lot of hope in what was transpiring and what we had gotten ourselves into. It was hard. However, it was short-lived and we weren't together that long. So in that way, it was easier, I guess, what you say, instead of, because it's not like a divorce where people have spent 5, 10, 15, 20 years together. You're dividing up assets, you have property, you have children, you know, you have things that are in both of your names, you have bank accounts. We didn't have any of that kind of stuff. So it was less of a risk, if that makes sense. But emotionally, yes, it was hard because I wanted my marriage to work and I tried everything. I gave him my all and I did my best, and separating was the only option. Someone asked, how does it feel to be back to myself? It feels amazing because I definitely lost myself since I've been here in Atlanta. I've lost myself. I kind of stopped doing the things that I wanted to do. I kind of stopped being who Maya truly is. And I'm really excited to kind of be getting back to who I was, the things that I wanted to keep about myself, you know, putting myself together, doing my makeup, going out, being more lively, meeting new people, all those things of who I used to be, but also embracing the new me that has been birthed through that situation. There are aspects of me that are completely different. So while I am back to myself and I love that, there's parts of me that I'm excited to be embracing about who I am now, because it's the old me, but it's the new me. Okay, do you get what you get what I'm putting down? Someone asked, was the blending of family overwhelming to you? No. My ex was my first guy that I've ever talked to or been with that had children, so it was the first experience for me. But his baby's coming to be with us for the summer had absolutely nothing to do with us splitting. Nothing at all. I love those babies. So that actually was not a lot of people feel like that was the issue. It looked like it timing wise, but it was not. It was not the issue. What would I have done differently while dating my ex? And I would have been in therapy personally during my dating process. And I also would have had us do more marriage counseling prior to getting married. And I could say I would have dated longer, but honestly, I don't think that would have been necessary, because what ended the situation was present during the time that we were dating. So I think therapy and self-work and being real with yourself could have changed that situation. How do you plan on healing after this breakup, and how often will I attend therapy, and will my daughter go to therapy as well? That is one of the main ways I'm healing, is through therapy. Because we're dealing with things like me standing up for myself, digging deeper into my childhood to figure out why I have that trait. Also dealing with forgiveness, forgiveness of, you know, my ex for whatever, and mostly forgiveness of myself for some of the decisions I've made. Doing a lot of journaling to really get my thoughts out, because even if I don't send it to someone else, or even if I'm not processing it with someone else, just getting it out on paper for me is super helpful, because it allows me to release it and to get it out. I cry a lot when I feel the feels. I make sure that I let that emotion out, and like I said, being intentional about taking the days that I need off if I need a day off. So like, I'm back working and everything, but I literally am working maybe 4 days a week. I'm taking at least 3 days mostly to just binge watch my shows, journal, sit back, talk to my mom for hours, talk to my sister for hours, sleep, like allow myself to feel the things so that I can really truly process it and get through it. That way, eventually I'm indifferent and I'm not triggered by certain things. And yes, Amira will be in therapy as well. That is happening. And yeah, that goes into some motherhood questions that I got. But real quick, I wanted to say, I did get a lot of questions about God and how my relationship with God has possibly changed based on my situation that happened, and if I still trust him, or how do I feel, like all of that kind of stuff. I'm gonna put that into that other video that I'm talking about later on down the line. Those who ask those kind of questions, I didn't want you to feel like you're being ignored. Some things I'm intentionally not answering because I will be addressing them later on, once things aren't as fresh and once I have wrapped my head around it a little bit more. But yeah, I have a few more questions that had to do with like motherhood, so let's attack those. Someone asked, how is Amira adjusting to Atlanta, and does she miss home? Amira does miss home, but she's been adjusting great, y'all. Amira is that girl in her school. Okay, she's that girl. So she's doing good. She has a thriving social life. She's extremely close to her stepsister. Her dad's wife has a daughter who's a year older than her. So she's really, really close to her. So she has that. She has a little brother and a little sister. So Amira kind of has two lives. She misses home. She misses her family for sure, as I do too. I miss my mama and my sister and my nephews and my nephews and my niece, and I miss everybody. However, Amira's doing okay, and I process stuff with her a lot. So there's so many conversations, obviously, y'all don't see. Me talking to my baby and making sure she's Gucci. So Amira's good. Someone asks, I see your great love for God. Do you also have moments of worship and Bible study with Amira? I do. Amira just got her own Bible. Like big girl Bible, you know, not like the little kitty pictures with her little tabs in them. We got to put the tabs in them. So yes, on the weekends that Amira's with me, she goes to church with me, and we do have moments where we have our Bible study and our devotions together. And you know, I pray with my baby constantly. Yes, I do have those moments with my baby because that was instilled in me. So it's really important for me to instill that in her. How did Amira take the separation of the divorce? Not too much on that, but as a child, of course, it's shocking, especially when you don't know what's been going on and everything. But Amira is doing okay. She's doing good. She's processing. But also Amira is very used to it just being me and her anyway. I mean, I just have to say that. She's very, very used to that. So it's been a seamless transition because she's used to it just being her and her mommy. And I think she has some happiness when it comes to that a little bit. But it's been difficult because she and my ex are very close, and yeah, she has her struggles, which is why she's going to be in therapy, because I want her to process her feelings, but she's okay. And I'm being very intentional on making sure that I'm talking to her about things, and that I'm helping her to process her feelings, because y'all know my channel is about me. I do get this question a lot. What else? What about Amira? What about Amira? What about Amira? Y'all, this is my channel. Amira ain't in show business, okay? But you know, she's here and there, but this is not about her business, her life, her emotions. So I also protect her when it comes to sharing too much about her and, you know, her processing and everything like that. It's a private matter. But know that I know that my baby needs as much attention as I need personally right now, because while I'm trying to fix my childhood trauma, I'm very aware that she's a child and this stuff is happening around her, which is forming her opinions and her views and things like that. So I'm making sure the conversations that need to be had are being had to help her to process, and you know, just a lot of stuff. But anyway, it's being handled. Last question, how do you juggle being a single mother and having a social life? Because baby, I'm struggling, sis, I get it. But I have to just be honest, y'all. I have been blessed with a great support system. When I was in St. Louis, my mom helped me a lot. My mom has always been there for me. Super helpful, super supportive, have really allowed me to be able to have a life outside of being a mother because of her support and her willingness to babysit. Or she don't like when I call it babysitting. She said, I'm just spending time with my grandchild. So yeah, she's really been there. But then also being here, y'all, I wouldn't be able to have a social life if it wasn't for Amira's father. And I don't talk about this a lot. One of my girlfriends last week was just like, you know what? You've never mentioned on your channel that is a great situation that's happening in the midst of all of this. And I said, you know what, girl, you're right. I haven't. So I did want to plug that with someone asking me that. A big reason why I'm able to have a social life and do what I need to do is because Amira's father is a father. Amira's father actually it's opened the door for me to even come down here. He actually just texted me and checked on me like an hour ago, just because, you know, with the divorce and everything like that. But Amir's father has been a very solid, you know, piece since I've been down here, and I would not have moved down here if he was not that way. And so Amira being, you know, over there every other weekend and then twice during the week in the evenings, like that allows me time to go out with friends, to go to events, to have weekends to myself. And I understand there's a lot of women out here, single mothers, who do not have that support from the other half. So I just had to throw out there that that's really how I juggle having a support system who is there. Him, his wife, they've been amazing. Amira loves being over there with her family. And so that has allowed me to be able to be social and have my time. I wish I could give some kind of advice for those of you who do not have that, but that's always been what I've had, and I thank God for that. Earlier when Amira was younger, it was really just my mom because he lived in a different city. That was more difficult because it was having to ask for a babysitter, ask my mom to, you know, can she do this? Can she do that? My life kind of revolved around her and her willingness to be available to do it, which she always mostly was. But it's different when you have the other parent there because you're not asking for them to babysit. You have a schedule and you got your child when you got your child, and I got the child when I got the child. You know what I'm saying? If you got somewhere to go while she over there, you get a babysitter. Plus he got other kids over there too. So it's like not a thing, you know? And so I'm grateful to God that I have that now, but back in the day, it was really tough. It was a lot of girls' nights in because baby girl was stuck with me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm grateful that I got through that season, and her father has matured a lot since then. I've matured a lot since then. And now I feel like it's a great situation. There's no issues. We ain't got no baby mama, baby daddy issues, nothing. That has really been it's been a solid, consistent, helpful situation, especially in the midst of all this change. And especially for Amira too. I feel like she needs that consistency in that area of her life, in that family, you know, section of her life, when there's a lot going on over here with our situation. So yeah. All right, y'all, that is the end of the questions. Hopefully I can get this down to like 45 minutes, an hour. We're gonna see. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Thank you again to Sephora at Kohl's for sponsoring us today. Y'all don't forget to hit the links in the description box to check out all of the products that we use to create this beat. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.